Hey, kia ora koutou whānau. Welcome to another edition of Big Hairy News. How the heck are you all? Hey, Chewy. What's going on, brother?
I'm not doing too bad. It is the end of my working week.
Yep.
As long as the weather is as good as it was today,
That's correct.
I will be a productive wee bookie tomorrow. And if it
Do you know
rains,
what I'm looking forward to as we test our audio in the background, because we were gossiping before we didn't do it.
we were gossiping like little schoolgirls.
What I'm looking forward to, music, yes, over the weekend.
Yes.
Okay. It sounds really weird, but I've been crook for 2 weeks. My house is an absolute pigsty. I'm really looking forward to cleaning the house and cleaning the car this weekend. Like, I drove to Christchurch 2 weeks ago. I basically haven't really sat in the car again other than for 10 minutes total since then. And the car is crying, right? It's actually calling out to me. So I'll be doing I'll go down to Washfield this weekend. You should come and join me. We should do a boys turn, and I actually dry the car off when I do it now. I do all the full thing. I go hard nuts, bro.
Now, Pat, I'm going to put on my nursemaid outfit for you.
Sure.
Just a mental image. You are recovering from COVID.
Alcohol. Oh, no, COVID. Sorry. You're right.
COVID. And everything we have been told by the many, many experts that we've had on the show is don't push yourself too quick.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was at the doctor's
today.
You end
up with fucking long COVID.
Here's an interesting piece of information. Pardon me. I was at the doctor's today, and I'm actually gone on antibiotics because they think there may be an infection there. But they actually said, remember when COVID first came out, there was a 2-week isolation period. And the reason for that was, this is pretty often a 2-week cycle to go all the way through. Doesn't mean I'm infectious. I'm not infectious anymore. But he actually pointed out that I'd be 2 weeks on Saturday. And he's like, just give it a couple of days, see how it is. But when this first came out, it was a 2-week process. That's why they had 2 weeks of isolation. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because we've all gone back to, we all have, but society's gone back to, well, we'll isolate for 5 days and I'll go back to work no matter what. But actually, we didn't start that way, and there was reasons for that.
One of my workmates at the moment, she doesn't have COVID, but she's been a bit poorly. Probably just the flu or the cold or something. But she's masking up, and it's interesting to see the reactions from customers. There were a couple of people that questioned it today, and she was just like, "No, I'm a little bit sick, but not badly sick. I just don't want to make my workmates sick or my customers sick."
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh, that's right. It's not just for COVID, is it?
No. Yeah. No, and look, don't panic, people. There's people asking me if you get a double breath and everything. I'm fine. I'm actually okay. I know I sound really rough. I am pretty rough, but I'm not. Honestly, guys, if I wasn't well, I wouldn't be here. Like, if I wasn't up to doing this, I wouldn't be here. I am sweating through everything I'm wearing at the moment, though. It's a great weight loss scheme. All right, couple of things going on. I have got for you the juiciest piece of unofficial gossip / news that you will hear this week. Now, Chewy, I said to Chewy before the show, do you want to hear this live with everybody else? Or shall I tell you before we start the show what this piece of gossip is? Chewy, do you want to do a live action replay of what you did when I told you the gossip? What did you do? So here goes. This is me telling you the gossip. I go, bloody, 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 blah, gossip. Probably about right, actually. Probably about right.
Hey, I got to say, Pat did give me the choice.
Yep.
He said, do you want to find out with the family what it is, or do you want to find out now? And I had to remind Pat that I am a big lump of weaponized ADD, and there is no way that I can defer gratification that long. Tell me now. And I'm glad.
If we were a more official sort of professional organization,
Which
we'd
we ain't.
would probably say breaking news as opposed to good chunk of gossip, so you can take it however you want. Now, the other thing we were doing, and if you've seen my comments on Twitter, I said, do you want to know the goss? And it's got to do with Hobson's pledge. There's a little teaser for you. That was on my Twitter feed. Then be there at 9 o'clock, implying that we'd tell you at 9 o'clock. But it wasn't really me, it was Chewy. I didn't really want to do this, but I think Chewy said maybe when we get to 10,000, we'll tell you.
I'm holding this shit to ransom. That's what's happening. This is a hostage situation now. You're all involved. If you've been sitting there going, I know when the show happens, I don't need to subscribe. If you want to know what we know, you need to hit that button right now.
I can't do that. I feel so guilty.
Press the button. Press it. It's right there. It's right there if you haven't hit it.
The problem is everyone who's watching live right now is probably already subscribed to it, so we may not be able to do that. But what I'll do is I'll go away and tell you one other thing first. Dirty tease. I'll tell you one other thing first, one other good piece of news first, and then we'll come back and the lurkers, that's it. And then we'll give you the heads up on whether we release it then or whether we release it in a little while. And here's the other piece of news. Pardon me.
Like a bad faith telethon.
Yeah. Well, speaking of telethons, I want to say huge thanks to all our patrons. You guys literally allow us to do what we're doing. Honestly, we're kind of getting real close to being viable, being able to pay for some things. It's amazing, and we're very, very grateful, all genuineness, for everything you patrons do. If you've thought about getting behind us and supporting us, now's a great time to think about it, because we are looking at expanding. We are looking at starting up a Friday night show. And whilst that's not going to necessarily mean, hey, guess what? You get an income Friday night show, because we're a building thing. There will be extra costs incurred with that, whether it's, cameras or mics or whatever sort of thing. So it's a great time if you want to see, if you appreciated what we've done and you maybe want to see us expand and see us what we continue to do. It's a great time to think about being a patron. The other thing you get to do is you get to be a part as a patron of us being able to support other places and other things going on at the moment. So we made a pledge to Rainbow Storytime that we would donate 25% of the profits of the Rainbow buffer gear that I put in the post today. I've actually got a big long list of courier packages that I've got the tracker numbers for, and I am going to endeavor to get those all out to you. Except for our guy in Wellington, my man in Wellington, yours is in the letterbox. It was hard to find your letterbox. Dunedin. If you're in Dunedin, over in that area off George Street, that's you. Very hard to find your letterbox, but it's in your letterbox. So I was going to send you the photo. So make sure you go and check it out. Everyone else that was on a courier today, bar one or two people, there's an Australian one that hasn't gone off yet. And actually, Sunita's hasn't gone off yet. But because we're doing that, one of our patrons, thank you to our patrons, has offered to support this cause as well. And it gave us the opportunity to, between the profits from the merch and the other donation, to donate $700 to Rainbow Storytime.
Damn.
Yeah, from the BHN whānau and followers. So thanks to you guys, right? Purchasing the merch. Obviously, that supports us as well. And also thanks to our very generous patron who wants to help us and support these things. Rainbow Storytime, Let the Story Be Told, got a $700 donation from all of us today. These are the kinds of things that we're able to do with you guys, and thanks to things like our patrons. So there you go. Oh my goodness.
What's the telephone number?
Oh my goodness. Oh my god! I don't think I can hold out. I think I got to tell people, G.
Nah, let's do another story. Let's do a story.
It feels like a gimmick.
You are terrible at hostage negotiations.
I know.
Terrible.
It feels like a jinxy, terrible radio thing we do. Hey, just stay right there. We'll be back in a minute with your chance to win. I don't know.
You don't know? Come on,
Okay,
let's
okay.
do a story.
Let it be known.
Let's give
Let
Chat
it be
enough
known
time.
let it be known that Chewy is making the decision on this. Chewy, should we do it now, or should we see if we can get to 10,000?
I am the stern father of the show right now, and you're doing a good effort, Chat, but it's not up to it yet. But let's just do the first story and give the family a chance to rally the troops.
All right, let's do that then. Interesting
it's
first
worth
story.
it, Chat. It's worth it. It's so good.
Interesting first story. Good news story. And when we want to congratulate national policy, we will. A huge breakthrough in organized crime today. A huge hit put into the methamphetamine trade in the South Island. Kudos to the police for that. And I'm not doing a yeah, but I'm going to say yeah, but there's another thing that came out today about these gang legislation laws that's got the New Zealand Law Council quite concerned. So the first thing we'll do is we'll have a look at the story from One News tonight about the massive bust, and then we'll come back and have a chat. Oh, there's new music still playing. Then we'll have a chat about what the Law Society is saying as well. So here is the story from One News about this massive bust in Christchurch.
The spoils of an alleged drugs ring. Among the items seized by police, 5 kilograms of Class A drugs, 11 firearms, motorcycles, ammunition, and around $250,000 in cash.
Our intelligence said that this group was responsible for the majority of Class A drugs coming into the area.
Police say they've
So that's pretty massive. The majority of Class A drugs into Christchurch and beyond the South Island. It's a massive bust.
arrested every patched member of the Christchurch Comancheros.
To bust an entire chapter is a big deal. I can't recall a time that's ever happened. So yeah, this is really significant.
Investigations into the gang spanning 8 months. Police claiming cash and drug runs between Auckland and Canterbury were being made every fortnight.
In that 2-week period, we've identified that there were 4 kilo amounts coming into Canterbury. To give you some context, that's about a 1.4 million street value for every 4 kilos.
The Christchurch chapter of the gang.
So $1.4 million every 2 weeks worth of drugs coming into Christchurch, South Island.
Were previously part of the rebels, claimed to have been started here by 501 deportees from Australia.
They were patched over from another gang in July of last year and came under the Comanchero umbrella. And they certainly came to our attention very quickly.
In total, 21 men have been arrested, ranging in age from 18 to 55, 15 in Christchurch and 6 in Auckland. Charges include participating in an organised criminal group and conspiracy to supply methamphetamine and cocaine. Police say further charges are being considered.
Certainly disrupted this supply chain, and the amounts that we're talking about is over $50 million in terms of harm.
The bust believed to have also made an impact on senior gang leadership in Auckland.
We've been very clear as an incoming government that we're not tolerating that anymore and that we're clamping down hard on the gangs, and you're watching that happen.
But this expert says it may not have a big impact on the drug trade around the country.
Unless you're going to dampen demand, supply will always meet it. So you can knock out suppliers as much as you like. That void will be filled very, very quickly, unfortunately.
Nonetheless, police celebrating a blow to the Comancheros in the Garden City.
There you go. So there's the first part of the story, Chewy. You want to comment on that? You're sort of, that you've lived in that world, but you've been alongside that world in parts of your life when you lived in Timaru and stuff. Any thoughts?
This is a huge hit. This is the payoff for what would be years and years of tedious police work, of building the links between gang members, their activities, who's responsible for what, and absolutely my hope that they have tied a big fucking ribbon on top of it, and it's a completely sealed shut case that they've got them all. It is incredibly unusual, even internationally, to be able to scoop up the whole organization in one hit. This is. And look, this is going to be a case of Mark Mitchell will be crowing about this because he's the police minister and National's tough on gangs. The police did not do this in 8 months. This is multiple years worth of work.
Yeah, but that's like, Obama got to give credit for getting Osama because he was the president, and Trump got credit for getting whoever the one I see of one of the jihadists was in, because, and that would have been, so I agree with you, but we can't sit here and go, well, you guys didn't really do anything. It's like the government of the day gets the credit for something that their department has done, even if it's been a longer time frame than that, and they get to crow about it, whether it was Labor leading it or National. Let's
just clarify my point a little bit here. The government has been saying that we need tougher laws to crack down on gangs.
Yep.
They didn't need tougher laws to crack down on this gang.
Yeah, right.
They needed time, they needed planning, they needed resources to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the argument of Labor soft on crime, we need tougher gang laws, it doesn't ring true. Police can do this work with what they have on the table right now.
Yeah. All right. And that probably leads us quite good into the second part of the conversation. And this is from Newsroom. Last minute gang law changes ban insignia in homes and widen police search powers.
What the fuck?
A late addition to proposed gang laws will give police broad powers to search people's homes in the name of stopping repeat offenders living under the same roof as gang patches or gang insignia. The amendment, which technically regulates speech or expression in a person's private residence, was added to the bill after the select committee process, meaning there hasn't been the opportunity for experts, interested parties, and the public to scrutinize the changes.
Wow.
But government ministers responsible for the new gang legislation say they are confident they've struck the right balance, with the new clause acting as harsher punishments and a deterrent for a small number of repeat offenders. Now, I've got two other parts of this article I'm going to read you, but let me just say this one thing very, very clearly. The reason we have protections like free speech protections, it's not for good speech, it's for offensive and bad speech, right? More often than not, the reason you have protections and human rights is not because all the nice, good, well-behaved people need them. It's for actually the opposite of that. So you can't sit here and go, well, it's only the gang members. If this government is able to reach into someone's house and say, if you own X in your house, behind your bedroom door, and may never leave your bedroom, then we're possibly going to criminalize you for that. That is an authoritarian government and a huge concern to just the laws within New Zealand. And remember, this government, this part of politics, going on and on and on and on and on about things like control, mandate, nanny state. This is Orwellian, Chewy.
So you open up your garage, pull the car out, take the kids out, go and get some groceries or something like that. You've got a mongrel mob mural painted on a wall in your garage. Local policeman sees it, uses it as an opportunity to raid your entire house.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Well, let's rather than even me and you talking about it, let's just keep going in the article, because the New Zealand Law Society speaks to it. But the New Zealand Law Society has laid out a raft of concerns with the 11th hour amendment in an open letter to Goldsmith. The open letter, sent by Society's Vice President David Campbell, said the proposed law essentially set a new precedent for giving police regular access to people's homes, distorted the reason for police to search people's homes, and wasn't relevant to the primary purpose of the government's public gang patch ban. Remember, the whole time it's been about, we don't want to see this in public. We don't want to see this in public. We're not going to allow these guys to get together in public. This has got nothing to do with those laws. The Society sent the letter to Goldsmith almost 3 weeks ago, but is yet to receive a response. In the meantime, the clock is ticking as the government moves forward with passing the 2 bills into law. The gang bills, which would make a series of changes to police powers, have been controversial. They include banning gang insignia in public and now in the home, allowing police to issue dispersal notices, creating laws to stop gang associates from gathering, and making gang membership an aggravating factor at sentencing. Critics, including lawyers and community organisations, as well as official advice, that line again, have argued there is no evidence this will deter people from joining gangs or committing offences, and others are critical of the likely breaches of human rights. However, the Law Society's letter hinges on this specific amendment, which make it illegal for repeat offenders to live in the same place as gang insignia. So we've got to be careful, Chewy, when you say someone has a mongrel mob, mural on their thing. It is about repeat offenders. Not saying that makes it okay, but it's not going to be everybody. And seeing we're here, we'll just get the last part of this. Gosh, I highlighted a lot, didn't I? Under Section 8.2c, anyone who has been convicted of displaying gang insignia in public 2 or more times in the last 5 years would be subject to what the government calls mandatory gang insignia prohibition order for repeat offenders. The order includes a condition that there could not be insignia present at the person's usual place of residence. It will be up to the police as to how they interpret and operationalize the new clause, and whether it could potentially extend to insignia owned by someone else living at the same private residence, such as a flat or transitional housing. On August 8th, Campbell wrote to Goldsmith to raise concerns about the significant extension of police powers into people's homes, stating that this went beyond the intention of the public patch ban. He said the amendment was inconsistent with the Bill of Rights and was introduced through an improper process. He urged Goldsmith and Police Minister Mark Mitchell to halt the passing of the bill so Crown Law could conduct a proper human rights vet of the proposed legislation. The amendment unjustifiably infringes rights protected by the New Zealand Bill of Rights Act 1990, Bill of Rights, has no rational connection to the proposal of the bill and its proposed gang insignia ban, and will likely cause harm to the families and whānau, including children, of those subject to a gang insignia prohibition order, the letter said. Campbell acknowledged there may be a public policy consideration for regulating speech or expressions such as gang insignia in public spaces, but the regulation in a private residence was significant, and in this case, not rationally connected to the stated purpose of the gang insignia ban. The explanatory note to the bill said gang insignia displayed in public may cause some people to feel fearful or intimidated. The display of gang insignia as a status symbol may also assist gangs in marketing themselves to potential prospects and future recruits. Gang members are readily identifiable by their insignia. The display of insignia may exacerbate dyslexia kicking in there. It may exacerbate inter-gang rivalries that led to gang violence in public spaces. Campbell said this was unrelated to the existence of gang insignia within a residential home. The residential ban could extend to insignia never intended to be displayed in public, he said, such as a gang member having their father or grandfather's patch as a memento. Taken literally, the new clause could be taken to include printed reproductions of gang insignia, making it a criminal offence to possess a newspaper with a gang symbol in it, or certain books. Up to you, Joey. Ball is yours.
So whenever laws are written, one of the things that my understanding is that they try to do is really lock it down on what it means.
Yeah.
Now, already in that, we see so much left up to police discretion,
Mhm.
so much left wide open as far as a repeat offender of what an insignia is. There's so much that can be challenged here.
Yeah.
That if they try it, it's going to just end up in court for years. I think this is a massive overstep. And I come back to one of the first things that I said when they started talking about this. The government have not, at any stage that I have seen, defined what a gang insignia is.
Yeah.
They kind of just go, we know it when we see it. Now, we've talked about it lots. You know, what makes a gang insignia? They've never described the elements of it. They haven't named any organizations that have insignia or paraphernalia. And we've talked about if you remove it, then there are still ways that the gangs will identify themselves. I think this, you know, is there something? Oh, we saw a flag up as we walked the beat conveniently outside of your home through the cracks in your curtains. So we're coming in and seeing what we can find, and we're just going to toss your house. It becomes police harassment. I assume at some point the Free Speech Union is going to swing in on its Tarzan rope and kick this all to hell. It should happen any minute now, I assume. It sounds like sloppy lawmaking. It sounds like something that can be weaponized against all manner of people.
Mm.
And the very fact that it came in literally at the last minute, after all public submissions, after all the select committee stuff, it was just like, we're going to roll it out to anything inside people's homes. Lock it in.
Yeah.
It sounds like the biggest load of bullshit.
And ramming it through and not giving any chance for public or experts to speak to it or submit to it, just making it law. Honestly, I don't want to seem like I'm being OTT, but it is Orwellian. It is the definition of Big Brother. For all you conservatives out there who think that these lefto, pinko liberals want to control and shit everything, mate, pot kettle black. You know, look at your own shit. I've never seen anything like this from a New Zealand left-wing government of recent times. We're going to come into your house and decide whether you're a criminal or not based on what granddad's poster on the wall is. You know, come on. This is what these freedom-loving conservatives are always about. You know, privacy of your own home. I support anything you want to do. You know, your right to say it. I might not like what you're saying, but I support the right to say it. And, you know, the privacy of your own home. Your home is your castle. It's like all of that out the window. Just like all of this pretense of decades of talk about freedoms and liberties and, you know, and freedom of expression. And we protect your right to do it. All just out the window. And out the window with no conversation. Out the window because they decide. And that's it. Because they want to be tough on crime and policies that aren't going to work. You know what? If I had a troublemaking gang member who was in my neighborhood, whose house got raided for that reason, I would be supporting him or her. I'd be like, you can't just get into... We have rights and privileges, mostly for the things that go wrong. We don't need a speed limit for people who drive 100, you know, on the open road. We need a speed limit for the people who do 140. So there is some way to pull them back. We don't need free speech for people who say lovely things that everyone agrees with. We need free speech for the people who say obscene things with the freedom to say it. We don't have these human rights for the people who get along well and they're all good. We have human rights to protect almost the worst in society, because if they're going to come after the worst in society, then they'll come after the second worst. Then they'll come after the third worst. And eventually they'll get to you. That's why we need these things. So if it happens to them, just don't be naive to think it can't happen to you or me or your mother or your neighbor. It's and I don't like the slippery slope argument that people use for lots of things, but it's a pretty heinous first step. It's like, if the staircase is 100, this is not step 1. This is like step 78 immediately. Yeah. You know, it's just such a big swing.
This reminds me of the law that they rolled out over in the UK that was specifically targeted at the Stop Oil protesters. and it was interpreted to the point of view that when a group of these people that were involved in that organization all happened to be at the same, I think it was a soup kitchen or a restaurant or some sort of point, the police swooped in and arrested them all for conspiracy. They hadn't done anything. They hadn't done a crime yet, and they got arrested. See, this is what happens when we have laws that aren't up to the challenge. And I'm glad that the Law Society's onto it because, Free Speech Union, they have their own drum to bang, and it's not going to be looking after these people.
All right, team. We're gonna go have a live look right now, Chewy.
Oh, come on. Come on.
But look, there's Hobson's pledge to be classified as a gang with the next Labour government.
They've got a logo. They've got a matching polo shirt. Let's do it.
I just feel like Cliff's message is a sign that we need to put it out there. We need to put it out there. We need to let this little bird fly. This is what I'm saying. We just need to let this little bird fly. Uncle Chewy, can we do that? Can we let the little bird fly?
I'm disappointed, fam. Disappointed. I'm not angry. Disappointed. 12 people.
So here you go, Fano. As you know, we had a really interesting show last night, because it's always an interesting show. And we used some footage from our old mate Bomber. And we talked a little bit about, we talked about this big spat that was had on here. Let me go to my profile page. So you can see there's some clips that we've made. Like there's a clip there on
Last night's clip's excellent.
Last night. So that's one of the clips. There's actually 5 of those clips coming out over the next few days. And the full clip, the full episode of that is also on YouTube right now. You can see it. But I noticed on the working group tonight, here's the lives from the working group. You'll notice, Chewy, that the last live stream was 9 days ago. So that means the episode from Tuesday night is no longer up. And sometimes this has happened to us. You do a live stream and it crashes, so you upload the video and it pops up in the videos instead. So when I look in the videos, I'm like, well, there's a clip, but no, there's nothing in there as well. And it seems that last night's episode has been taken down off the interwebs, Chewy.
Let me try something, Pat.
Sure.
Let's press this. Oh, I've always got them on the wrong screen. Boop. Oh.
Okay.
What has happened?
So you put up the link to I was looking for that link today. You put up the link to the whole show. So the show's definitely been taken down.
It's unavailable. What a mystery. Whatever has happened.
So I was interested as to why it would be taken down. And whilst I was doing that, I heard a little bit of scuttlebutt. Is that scuttlebutt? Scuttlebutt. Scuttlebutt?
Scuttlebutt.
A few rumors going around. Multiple places, multiple sources, all fairly reputable, people who know. Okay. And the rumor is, and we'll take this with a grain of salt, right? That's why I say gossip rather than breaking news.
So gossip.
There has been a complaint made, and I'm assuming by Hobson's pledge, maybe directly from Don Brash, about that video, and he has got it taken down. Now that's one thing. That's happened to us before, and you challenge it and you go, well, we're a news organization. It's an honest held belief. They've got no right to take it down, and it gets put back up. However, the second part of the conversation is word is that Dr. Brash is also threatening to sue Mr. Hooton for defamation. And you know people, right? You know that I'm the one normally reining Chewy in on things that are said that we've got to be careful of.
I will not be contained.
Whilst we will say that this is an unconfirmed rumor, I've seen and heard from several people who I trust, who say, absolutely, this is the situation. As of today, Don Brash is threatening to sue Matthew Hooton for defamation based on that argument last night that Hooton had with Damien Grant and calling Dr. Brash racist. Chewy, any thoughts?
I can't see how that will go anywhere at all, because defamation is incredibly hard to prove.
Yeah.
And it is one man's opinion.
Well, yeah, well, it's not just opinion as well. See, in New Zealand, defamation is quite hard. You have to prove that someone is spreading an untruth and they know it's untrue. So in theory, if this is what we're looking at, the only way that Dr. Brash could get any kind of, push in this thing is if he had some way to prove that what Hooton was saying is A, false, and B, Hooton knew it was false. That's the only way. Now, there's a C as well. There are some people around New Zealand who have been in the political scene for a while, and actually, I'm not saying Dr. Brash is one of them, who use sort of the bully pulpit. They'll just start to sue you. They'll be litigious, and they'll sue you to get you to shut up because you don't have the 10, 20, 30, 40 grand to go to court and do it. I don't think Hooton's that guy, but that's the goss people going around the interwebs on the dark web that I've heard from some people about this evening, that actually there is a potential defamation lawsuit coming up between Dr. Brash and Matthew Hooton. And can I just say one thing? We are so here for it. Game on, boys. Game on.
Also, you can watch that clip from tomorrow night. From last night.
We've still got it up.
You can't watch it on the working group because it's gone now, but we still have it.
We've got the whole thing. We've got the whole thing. Now,
if it comes up over the water cooler, maybe you can point people our direction.
The other thing is, I'm going to have a look right now as we speak. It may get taken down. But look, as of right now, there it is, a 27-minute clip there. Matthew Hooton eviscerates Damien Grant on the working group. 27 minutes. That's still, the whole thing's still up. It's not like it's gone.
One of the most spectacular interactions for us political tragics. Jaw on the floor. I've been telling everybody about it. It's so good. Yeah. And the good thing is, because I edited the clips together, I've actually got it in hard copy as well, sitting at my computer. So, if it gets taken down or if someone challenges or whatever, we've still got it. We can put it other places. I have noticed as well that YouTube is a place where things get taken down. Twitter doesn't seem to be so much. Thanks, Elon. So, if there was ever a problem with it, we'll just put that 27 minutes up to Twitter. See what happens from there. All right. That's that, shall we? Maybe we should talk about something else. The hell is this clip? How can we possibly fill the gap after that?
Well, I'll tell you what we can do. Yeah, you go.
Before we transition into something planned, one thing that I've been meaning to bring up, remember those allegations that were made about that marae up north and the buying of votes with food vouchers and that sort of thing? Have you followed any of the resolution to that?
I haven't really followed the resolution, but I did get a call from one of my children the other day who wanted to go get vaccinated down at the Oval, because if you got vaccinated, you got a $50 pack and save voucher. So so it doesn't seem to be something that's uncommon around the place. But you're talking about the Te Pāti Māori and the marae. Is this the one we're talking about? Where there was a bit of a sort of a crossover between a candidate, money for coming to vote for that kind of accusation. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, people's details being used to vote a particular way and that sort of thing. And we mentioned at the time that it seemed very politically motivated, and Destiny got a hiding in that area. It wouldn't be out of pocket to say that maybe Destiny had a part in it. We were very careful about what we were saying. Turns out that's true. That's true, that Destiny was behind the whistleblowing and the complaint. So, yep, that's the one.
Yeah, interesting. There we go. Destiny Church, Wātea News has an article. Oh, very good. Well, we're trying to do our part against Destiny, thanks to Rainbow Story Time. So we've done our part, Whānau. We'll keep doing it, though.
Yep. So there we go. Head along to there and read that story if you like. But yeah, absolutely. Destiny's just having a great time at the moment.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff about Destiny in the news at the moment. Lots.
All right, let's have a look at maybe another good segue. You're the king of the unknown segues. We're looking at Māori Wards. What's happening in Whangarei? What's happening in Hastings with Māori Wards? Because remember, Kaipara seemed to start the way that Māori Wards would be getting cancelled left, right and centre. They seem to want to lead the way for getting rid of Māori Wards. Well, here's what happened at Whangarei today.
Following a long and at times emotional debate, Whangarei Council voted to retain its 2 Māori wards with a referendum at next year's election, one of 2 options available to councils under recently passed government legislation. Hundreds turned out for the decision at today's meeting. Northland reporter Helen Castles was there.
A display of strength and unity in support of Māori Wards. With standing room only, as a motion to abolish them was voted down.
And those against? Councillors Rooker, Peters, McKenzie, Harding, Pulse, Connor, Holmes, and Worship.
Elated, exhausted, overwhelmed, emotional. It's been huge, actually.
The decision followed 2 hours of debate over whether to axe the seats.
This is a generational decision. It's not just for us. It's not just for me and them. It's generational.
4 councillors voting to get rid of them.
I ran for no to co-governance, no to 3 borders and no to Māori Wards seats. My stand on that has not changed. You are our colleagues and you are our friends. And my decision today, I assure you, is not a personal one at all.
Once the council chamber was full, the doors were locked and no one else was allowed in. But the waiata and the chants from those rallying outside echoed throughout the meeting.
It's a sign that our whānau are becoming more and more proactive in what it means to be in this democratic process.
Security was high, but the rally was peaceful. The Kiwi anthem sung in Te Reo and English. Whangarei Mayor Vince Coccarello wouldn't say whether he was for or against the Māori seats.
Referendums to me are vitally important because they allow our community to have a say in the outcome of going forward.
While the Kaipara District Council became the first in the country to abolish them, the Far North District set to vote next month, indicating it intends to keep them.
So there you go. So this is the maps that we're talking about. So this is the top half of the North Island. There is Whangarei District Council. There is the Far North District Council, and there is Kaipara, which goes to show how it would appear out of step Kaipara is with the rest of Northland. Because, and that I think most people would say might come down to a particular mayor.
Hey, there we go.
I think what they did is I think they rewarded us for the teas rather than be guilty into doing it for the teas. So yeah, Chewy, there's more to talk about because there's also going on at Hastings as well, Hastings Council as well. But I mean, it seems like the most sensible. It seems to me that even if you're not a fan of Māori Wards, then what you do is you give it back to the people. That's what seems one of the things that seems so ugly about Kaipara and what they did, just voting it down and not even giving it a chance to go to the people.
So I think with this, it's important to recognise that this is step one, is that the councils could just decide to get rid of them instantly.
Yeah.
The change in legislation is that all councils that have adopted the Māori Ward need to put it up for a referendum at the next election. They have the option to vote and get rid of them straight away.
Yeah.
So this is great. This is a great first step for that council. They are they still have to, because of central government, put a race relations issue, a tiriti issue, up for public referendum.
Which is a strange place to start talking about race relations by referendum.
Yeah, it's not the place for it. And like, if you have a minority group of any shade, configuration, whatever, thrown out to a much bigger group to go, do you care about this issue? Then they will lose more often than not.
Mm.
So it's great to see Pākehā there realizing that it's important. And that needs to be the message that we take into the local body elections that are coming up, I believe, next year.
Yeah,
is it next year that
yeah.
time around? So yeah, I saw a comment earlier. I'm sorry I didn't star it, but someone going, "Oh, I never vote in the local body elections, but I'm going to have to this year." 100%. A lot of what we talk about is how democracy falls apart at a local level because it's not seen as accessible or as important as national level stuff. But if we need a way to signal what's important to us, that is just as an important a step, especially with it being more local. As the national level elections, we need to hammer what is important to us to a flagpole.
And look, this hasn't even begun the conversation of why the fuck are they doing a referendum on Māori wards anyway? Like, they're not doing them on rural wards and other things. Why is it only Māori wards? So there's a much bigger conversation, but within this ugly conversation about putting sort of I guess what many of us would see as commitments within the treaty to public referendum, commitments in a contract which now get to be decided by a group of people outside the contract, get to decide without even having that conversation, just looking at the ugliness today, the ugliness of this overall thing. It's a win. And so this is Hastings, and there was controversy around this because Hastings voted to keep Māori wards, and the controversy, Simeon Brown wasn't very happy about this, is Patch gang members were in the audience and they also celebrated keeping Māori wards. The councillors or the mayor was given a bit of grief about that, and I believe the response was the gang members came midway through the thing, and there was no trouble or ructions, or they were just at that point, I guess, ratepayers / citizens / members of the community. And so Hastings said, the Hawke's Bay Regional Council meeting where a decision was made on Wednesday to retain the council's 2 Māori wards, and that was so I guess Chewy, I can say for both of us, from our opinion, the right decision. And interested to know that patched gang members are like, really, can't go out in public, really? Okay, well, let's just go celebrate our council making the right decision. But you know what? Probably doing more than many of us do with local councils 99% of the time, Chewy, showing up to a local council situation and voicing their views.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this stuff is important. Like, there is so much, Seymour wants to have an honest debate about the treaty and Māori and all of this sort of stuff. We've talked about what an assault has taken place over this last 8 months. It is going to be a long campaign to fight back against. We've got to push back against all of it. And this is just one little piece of it. It's all important.
Yeah.
What did I just see in the chat there? Citizen, 24 district councils have voted to keep them so far. This is the majority.
Yeah, cool.
Having a Māori ward on my council takes nothing away from me.
Yeah.
Nothing. And that's what people need to recognize. It doesn't dilute democracy. It adds people to it. It is, in my opinion, part of Te Tiriti that Māori have a say. And if they have a guaranteed say in every city, every council in the country, good. That is a good thing.
All right. Thank you to all the lovely words within the chat. Lots of people saying congrats on the 10,000. Yeah, it's a funny thing actually, because I've had this channel open for, gosh, since 2018. I think I started doing another podcast. And if you have a look, well, let's just have a little behind the scenes because we can. If you have a look, we've crossed 10,000, but if you have a look, say in the, let's go last 365 days, you can see it's gone from, so in the last year, it's gone from, wow, 2,600 to 10,000. That's actually pretty choice. So in the last 12 months, it's gone from 2,500 to 10,000. But if you go to the lifetime, I keep pushing that, go to the lifetime of it, which is since 2018, you can see, when did we break our first 1,000? When did I break my first 1,000? Was probably around there, around the 8th of August 2021. 8th of August 2021, there was 1,000. November 2022, there was 2,000. There was we had a few months we were getting 1,000 a month, which obviously kind of cranked us on. And then it's just, now we're at, that's a lie, 10,006. So yeah, look, thank you for the congratulations, but actually, credit goes to you guys as well, because if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll probably subscribe. We have a very high subscription viewership. A lot of videos you watch on YouTube, they've got 98% of the people watching them are not subbed to that channel, whereas we're about 60 or 70% of the people subscribe to us, other people who watch our clips. So thank you. Amazing. Chewy.
It certainly means that you're not sticking to the rules of Fight Club, and I encourage it.
Hey, we've got a ton of chats in there, guys. We're going to try and go through some of these now, then we'll go into the last story. Last story is interesting, and I look at it as one of Shane Jones is basically going to the government, I'll do what I want, when I want, and there's nothing you can fucking do to stop it. I don't know if it does look like a bit of a cucking of, probably both Seymour and Uncle Luxon, but it seems that Shane is doing whatever he wants and there is no one pulling him in, which I think is actually quite a good tagline for this current government. Those people in those two minor parties involved with the government, they're just running roughshod, and I think it's an example of it. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Kiwi Bird. No late fee tonight, but I have $2. Thank you very much. And another one. How much dollars to put Chewy in a nursemaid outfit? Ooh.
More than two.
Yeah, wouldn't you kind of expect that it would be time for a $10,000 donation for 10,000 subs? We need Mr. Beast. If you're watching Mr. Beast, 10,000 for 10,000, that seems fair. Jimmy Duncan, a personalised BHN hoodie for the win. Proud to wear it in New Zealand and US this November. Oh, thanks, Jimmy. I'm glad you enjoying the merch there. Mr. Arvids is a tardy financial compensation. Peter Sims is following up a line of inquiry. Okay. 15mm history, $10. If Labour and the Greens wants to go after the police, look up Guy Greenslade, Nicole Gray, and the HRC on dyslexia. The police are using unfair recruitment policies for neurodiverse folks. UK is better. Okay, interesting. I might have a wee squiz into that. Mata late fee says sorry, apparently. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Some of these have come in. This came in at 9:23. Sounds like another excuse for an FBI open up meme. Is that to do with maybe the gossip we're putting out there?
You're not down with the kids, Pat. Let me
No, I do. Open up. This is the FBI. I know.
Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, it definitely needs to be on our soundboard.
Okay. All right. My kids are totally embarrassed, but I watch Laserbeam play Fortnite. He's very, very funny. He's Australian, and it's a sound that they often use when they're in the middle of playing the game. I used to play a bit of Fortnite. I enjoyed it, and I've gotten to a point where I've stopped playing it, and I am one of those. I'm like a 14-year-old boy. I watch other people play it. It's bizarre. It's a bizarre thing. Tawhiri reeks of the 2007 pardon me, Urewera raids style suppression going into people's houses. Yeah, Tawhiri, that's completely fair. Campbell getting out there with the super chats tonight. I can easily see this amendment being abused for worse. This is dangerous. Again, it's got the police going into people's houses. Last night's debate on the working group is what caused the lightning in Auckland tonight. Did I see 12,000 strikes or something? It's always impressive when they say numbers like that, because you don't know whether that's a lot. Like I remember when Christchurch had its quakes, I was like, oh my gosh, there's been 10,000 quakes in Christchurch. And then when you take a step back and realize that there's something like 1.3 million earthquakes in New Zealand, on the planet every single year, 10,000 is a lot for localized, but compared to what there normally is, it's not that much. Brian, so if I fly the red flag, I guess that's talking about gang colors and stuff as well. Yep, exactly. Mr. Arvid's Hobson, here's a hootin'. Peter says, if Brash sues, the discovery process exposing the funding activities of Hobson's pledge will be very juicy. Yeah. Maybe Nikki Hager needs to get involved with those guys to do a bit of digging. Mr. Arvid's dropped the coin in Discord, in Discord, Pat. Brash can't sue us all. And thank you, Citizen Gold. 10,000. Treaty partnership, not contracts. Yes and no. I mean, you can look at it like a contract. It is a partnership, I agree, but it's also contract law. And it's funny. And I think one of the points made in the working group last night is Don Brash is probably someone who agrees with contractual law and property law, and a lot of that's tied up in the treaty, just using other words, and the thing he wants to negate. Gold Chewy in a nurse outfit for $3. $5.
You guys are sick, and I'm here for it.
Thanks, Ella. Here you go, celebrate. That's the 10K. There we go. Congrats to 10. Here's to 20. Māori order, $10. Thank you so much for that. So you guys have been very generous tonight. Dave says, BH in Fortnite team, we can got to FNCs. The problem is I can't build. I play the non-building game because I'm a meat sack, and I play on PS4, so I'm not one of the on the keyboard guys as well. And Kai Tuhi. Thanks for my new coffee meeting up 9 p.m. Monday to Thursday. Thanks for my new coffee meeting up. Well, I mean, Kai Tuhi, you should become a patron if you're not one already, and then you can come to some real meetups. And speaking of that, we'll probably do one of those next Saturday. Obviously, I'm still recovering a bit, so I'm going to take it very easy this weekend. But there you go. Come be a part of an actual meetup, and that's an online virtual one, and we'll do that. Anything else you want to get to, Joey? Or should we go to the last story?
Last story. Let's keep on rolling.
You were supposed to talk for a minute there so I could cough, but anyway.
Oh, smooth. It was very smooth.
Okay, let's have a look at this. Basically, Shane Jones, old man shouts at Moon, and y'all can go get effed. I'm going to do what I want when I want.
Shane Jones has taken another swing at judges, saying there's been elements of totalitarianism in some judicial decisions. Attorney General Judith Collins has already written to ministers, reminding them of their obligation not to publicly criticise judges. And now she says she'll speak to him once more. Here's Gina again.
Roll up, take a seat for round, we've lost count, of Jones versus the judiciary.
The creep of a lot of these judicial decisions is beginning to show elements of totalitarianism, and I don't like it.
Well, you've just done it again, Minister.
Bye-bye.
Following revelations by Stuff's Tovapod.
It is pretty obvious he thinks it's a big joke, eh?
Oh, he thinks he's the duck's nuts, mate. I've never seen someone that looks like he enjoys the smell of his own farts more than Shane Jones.
Fair enough.
Cast last week that Shane Jones had referred to Justice Cheryl Gwynne as a communist judge.
Why call Justice Gwynne a communist judge?
No, I can't remember the context of what I said. It's political rhetoric.
Yesterday, the Bar Association publicly admonished ministers, saying this cannot be explained away as simply political rhetoric by politicians when ministers of the Crown owe duties to uphold the role of judges. It is not healthy for our institutions, they wrote.
It's a really, really good point. I mean, this is part of the cabinet manual. It's part of the cabinet rules. Ministers have jobs and responsibilities here. And he's just basically going, nah, whatever, I don't care.
What are you going to do? Is Luxon going to come and smack my big bottom? No, because the minor coalition parties are dog walking this government. They know that Luxon is weak.
Warning, in recent years, we've seen polarising criticism of the judiciary in other countries. The risks of that are clear. And urging the government to ensure ministerial conduct is not condoned by inaction. The Bar Association's asking the Attorney-General to step in.
I take comity very seriously. I've written to my Cabinet colleagues earlier this year, and I've since spoken to Mr Jones.
So he's just said right now that there is elements of totalitarianism creeping into the judges.
Literally right now. Her response should be, well, if that's the case, he'll be admonished. But guess what her response is?
Is he listening to you?
Well, I haven't heard him say that.
I haven't heard him say that. So in other words, I'm going to choose not to believe you right now, journalist, because it makes it more awkward than me than it already is.
There is a reporter right there reporting it to you. The correct reaction would be, oh, for fuck's sake. And this entire country, for once, would understand where Judith Collins is coming from.
He's literally just said it minutes ago.
I'll speak to him.
Would you like to apologise to the judiciary?
In what context? For
You've just
using the
said-
word communist?
For using the word totalitarianism.
No.
Jones initially said he was referring to the Takutaia Moana decision around Māori customary rights over the foreshore and seabed. That was a decision made by the High Court.
I will be speaking to him further.
Is he out of control?
No, not at all.
Then he changed his tune, arguing he was directing his comments at the Waitangi Tribunal.
That creep, which I regard as happening in the Waitangi Tribunal, is a type of anti-democratic totalitarianism.
The tribunal's not a court, but chaired by judges.
Judges can't speak for themselves here.
I'm talking about, I am talking at one level about the members of the Waitangi Tribunal, but I'm also talking about the fact that the sovereignty in New Zealand rests with Parliament.
Called them communist judges, but he's just a law unto himself. Shane can do whatever he wants by the looks of things.
I think you'll find I'm taking it seriously.
You're not getting mighty close to a breach of the Cabinet manual here.
No, I don't think I am at all. No, not at all.
We'll see if the Attorney-General and Prime Minister agree.
Well, there you go, Chewy. And I don't know if you know this, but I was having lots of little coughing fits during that. So the floor is yours.
Shane Jones is a boliviating blowhard and always has been. The fact that he is hanging around waiting for Winston to die is a constant stain on our political sphere. The man is on the grift. In every portfolio he holds, he is open to lobbying and bribery. And at this point, he's slinging shots at the judiciary. As was mentioned, they can't fire back.
Yeah.
The reason that he called this judge a communist, by the way, is because she was a member of a socialist youth group in her youth at university. That's why. He apparently can't remember the context of what he said it, but he can remember that this particular judge was part of a socialist group in university.
Yeah, it just reeks of this idea that the minor coalition partners are just doing what do they think he's going to do? They're going to try and pull him into line, and Winston's going to go, leave my boys alone, and nothing's going to happen. I mean, they literally have a role and a duty not to do this kind of thing, and he's literally doing it. So I don't know what you do.
He's also, this is, I think, the third or the fourth time that I've heard him hide behind the phrase, oh, it's just political rhetoric. It's like this, like he's gone to Hogwarts and he's learned a new spell to divert any criticism about what he said. Oh, I said a thing in front of people. And of course, I'm a politician. Nobody believes what I really say. It's so outside of what we should have as our elected leaders. And I just know that the people that vote for New Zealand First fucking love it. They just want someone to cause absolute chaos. It's the reason that Winston always comes back every election, because people just like, oh, I just like a little bit of political ruckus. They're not interested in a functioning democracy or an effective government helping the country move forward. They just want to see it all burn.
Yeah, very true. Hey, we're going to wrap up now. I think that my throat and my voice is done for the week. Really good week. Thank you so much. I mean, genuinely, not to be all kind of mushy now, but this is amazing. It's been a long road to get here. As I said, started in 2018, and what did I say when I got to 1,000 there, and I was doing this by myself, well, not this, but other things, was like 3 years in or something. So it's fantastic. And yes, compared to lots of other channels, we're little. Compared to international channels, we're little. But Stuart, do you want to read some of those last super chats?
Yeah, sure thing. Since my voice still works. Have you taken out all the ones you've already read?
They're all good to go. The last 3 there.
Okay, cool. Kiwi Bird with the $2. No late fee tonight, but just had $2. Now there's a series of ones, or they're not super chats, but I thought I would star them anyway, from Secretive Squirrel Studios, which is a great name and a great logo. This is talking about the gang insignia bill. I took the time to read the bill today. There's a lot of very weird clauses in it. For instance, it says that people can be charged and possibly jailed based on the balance of probabilities. That sounds super sketchy. The bill also doesn't include facial tattoos as gang insignia, so that's the only insignia that they can legally wear. I don't see many problems with that. Gang members just getting them tattooed on their face. They already get gang insignia tattooed. So what do you do about that? Back to the super chats. Mr. Arvid, a $2 request. Can we do meetups later in the afternoon, please?
Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll chuck it around a bit.
Now we know that Mr. Arvid loves a sleep in, which is very demure, very mindful. Proletariat with the $8.99 super chat. Congrats on the 10K. Take a bow. $5 from Puck You by name.
Puku by name.
Puku by name.
Puku,
that makes more sense than what I said.
Then Puck You by name.
And Secretive Squirrel come back with third shot. It's freaking weird that Judith Collins has become the responsible adult in the room, and that's a real reflection on the caliber on display. Absolutely. I would like to see Judith Collins earn this Crusher Collins persona that she never she crushed one car. I would love it if she fed Shane Jones into a car crusher. That would be great. I'd call her Crusher for the end of her days. Shane Jones is like a Timo Muldoon. And LLCJ, happy 10K BHN. Well done, lads. And producer Nala.
Very good. All right. Yeah, credit she. She always puts in the hardest yards. You can see that. She's working hard. Work it. You work it, girl. You all right?
Fucking nightmares.
Leave me alone. I'm sleeping. All right. All right, team. We're done. We're going to wrap up quickly tonight because my my throat has got to the end of its week. I think it's done well enough for us this week. We're back and we got into it. So thank you for that. Huge thanks to everyone being involved this week. And obviously thank you for subscribing. If you subscribed, it genuinely helps. We don't do this thing very well like the professional YouTubers who are like, just like and subscribe and ring that bell. It really helps the algorithm. We're too dumb to know all that kind of stuff. We just kind of go, let's hang out. If you want to hang out with us, subscribe and you know when we're around and that kind of stuff. So thanks so much, guys. It's genuinely appreciated. And I guess we're done for this week and we'll be back on Monday. Anything else that you need to wrap up on, Chewy? You want to mention? Anything happening this week? Go the All Blacks. Are you going to say that?
Nothing. Up the wires. Sports Ball was the winner on the day, etc., etc.
All right, team. We'll catch you Monday.
Push aside the temptation to berate. Let's take a note of the corners we stand in. As many points as the hairs on my chinny chin chin. When the news that we're watching is hairy, no one and all the things that we need to be wary of. Like the rich have the hand out for rewards, while the many have to work at what they can't afford. And the rest of us ain't paying attention, or maybe have questions we're too worried to mention. Other media is still dwelling on trivial facts, vetting peas from the rice and the mice from the rats, and picking and choosing a war puff to run, linking ourselves with the hill to die on. It's gotta come down to a welcoming vibe, with an A and a self and a higher mind. All have a lean either this way or that, and will be analyzed by what Chewy and Pat. With the evil in the world trying to mess with your head, and you're sitting on the couch, you're thinking chivalry's dead. Each night, 2 nights, they're gonna sing you to bed. It's Big Hairy News.
Also, massive thanks to all our patrons who you're seeing scrolling past. There's been several new patrons sign up this week. You'll get yourself into the credits from Monday onwards. If you're interested in being a part of what we do, if you want to support what we're doing, patreon.com/Big Hairy News. That's it for me, team. I'm done. Hooroo, Chewy.
Cheers, fam.